The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Vans. Before I start the show, if you haven't seen Dear Rider, the HBO documentary on Jake Burton Carpenter, make a point to see it. It's one of the deepest dives into the history of snowboarding, and there's all kinds of archival footage and never-before-seen stuff, plus a very intimate look into Jake's family life and struggle with cancer and Miller-Fisher's disease, a rare autoimmune disorder. It's heavy, and it's awesome. Dear Rider. It's streaming now. Season 7 of FNRad is sponsored by Wired Snowboards, the Boardroom Snowboard Shop, Anon Optics, Time Bomb Trading, and Tribute Board Shop in Nelson, BC. Time Bomb Trading distributes Dragon goggles here in Canada. The Dragon PX V2 goggle features Dragon's patented frameless technology, Swift Lock quick change lens technology that enables you to adapt instantly to changing light conditions, LumaLens optimized color technology that offers ultra-high definition optics across the entire spectrum of light conditions, injection molded Panotech lenses which utilize a unique curvature that allows for an unheralded level of peripheral vision. Dragon's glare-reduced ionized lenses also feature hydrophobic, oleophobic, and super anti-fog coatings, as well as a scratch-resistant surface. Triple layer face foam with hypoallergenic microfleece lining, armored venting on the top of the frame to reduce fogging, helmet compatible. They're offered in 14 different colorways, including a signature colorway from legend Gigi Ruff. Check out Dragon at your local retailer. Support also comes from Grouse Mountain, Mount Seymour, New Greens, GoPro, and Volco. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. Mikey Ciccarelli is a professional snowboarder who's moving from competing in the X Games to filming in the Whistler Backcountry. His part in this year's Kingsnow movie won Backcountry Part of the Year at the IF3 Movie Awards. We recorded this interview at the Boardroom Chalet in Whistler. Mikey's career started way back when he was 8 years old, and the best competitive snowboarder on the planet was...
Oh, it was definitely Shaun White. Just because, I was just coming into the sport and I'd watch X Games on TV.
Rad.
And I remember watching the first Olympics. For me, it would have been 2006, and that's when Shaun White won. And I was like, that is super rad. And then too, there's a guy named Brad Martin who lived in my hometown. He was a Canadian halfpipe rider, went to 3 Olympics, and he was a big inspiration for me too.
That's
just because he was more of the local hero, where I was like, wow, he lives down the street and he's going to the Olympics. Like, this is crazy.
Did you see him shred locally? Would you be like, there's Brad Martin?
Yeah.
Did you crew up with him a little? Or
we would see each other at halfpipe contests. I remember doing the Canadian Nationals, and I'd get to ride with him a bit. It was really cool.
That's super sick.
Yeah.
So right from the beginning, my beginning is, like I said, like a Juicy Fruit commercial or whatever. Guys doing no grab, back scratchers. And I was like, oh, this is sick. And you're watching X Games going, oh, this is sick. So how early into it do you start freestyle riding? Right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think my first year snowboarding, I was 6 years old. And probably just, it's crazy because I'm 25, it's 19 years ago. Been doing it for a long time and my whole life, really. Yeah. And then I would have gotten to park riding, my first season. And then I started competing when I was 8 years old, just in it was called AOS, the Ontario, circuit.
So cool.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, that's sick. So your parents would drive you around from resort to resort?
Yeah, we'd go all over Ontario. We'd go to Beaver, Lake Ridge, pretty much any resort. Every weekend was a different contest.
Was there any resorts that really blew your mind? When you first went there, you're like, whoa, this place.
I remember going to Blue Mountain Park the first time, because they had the half pipe. They had those 3 big jumps, and you could ride at night. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah. And at that time, I remember there's what was his name? Jeff Batchelor. He was such a good, he'd be blasting the pipe. Kevin Conings was this guy that would just rip the park there, and I was always just like, wow, felt like the mecca for Ontario snowboarding, at least at that time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
right. So do you get a coach kind of 2 years into it when you start competing, or even before?
So I first coach I had was Sam Marcotte through Georgian Peaks. It was a ski club that my parents were members at, and it was very ski dominated, which was pretty funny. And then snowboarding kind of became bigger, and we got our own program there. And it's cool because I worked with Sam until I was about 17 years old. and he started his own program. I followed him. So I would have been, coach started at 8 years old.
And what's a coach do for an 8-year-old? Like just following you around, giving you tips or giving you challenges to do kind of thing?
Yeah, it was really cool because he was like he had a snowboard career, just loved snowboarding to his core. So it was more, we're just sharing the stoke of like, dude, maybe you could do a back three on that jump. Did a back three and being like, I learned how to back three tail today, like those kind of moments. And I don't ever, I know for you're probably like, oh, coach 8 years old. That's crazy. But for me, I always just snowboarding. Like we were just like riding, trying to learn new tricks and, get better on your board.
Did you have days where you're like just riding with your buddies? I mean, at 8 years old, you don't have like a ton of friends. It's not like you're calling up your 8-year-old buddy going like, hey, let's go shred.
So I had like the people that were on like the program with me. Those would have been my core buddies. Like I had a friend, Adam Hurd, who actually like got me into snowboarding because he was like an older family friend that snowboarded. And I was like, oh, that would be the guy that would come out and ride with me. But it was funny because I was always a young kid. I remember being on trips when I'd be like 10 or 11 and be like 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
So learned a lot at a young age.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard Devin and Rob Dow talking about, those teenage years in North Van. And I mean, even Devin, who's, he's such a sweet person. But I mean, those guys got mixed up in some shenanigans, I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. I could only imagine that like in the Wildcat days.
Yes.
Must have been just mayhem.
Yeah. So it's like pre-Wildcat days and into the Wildcat days.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
It was like they're lucky no one went to jail. I don't know. Maybe someone did go to jail. I have no idea. Because, in every group, there's the guys who are in the core, and then there's the peripheral friends. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes friends of friends drop by. And they see what's going on, and they go, all right, I'm going to stomp the windshields out of all the cars in the neighborhood or something. You go, oh, my God, that guy's really a nut.
Yeah. Never got that far.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Like, do you remember taking trips non-coached? Like, at what age do you start planning like, hey, I want to just have a weekend for me or go with buddies?
Like for me, it was always, we'd be like, hey, we're going to go maybe we'd go to the launch or we'd go to Super Park and because we want to go ride. And then another one I remember was a good memory. I went to Europe. I was 16 years old with Tyler Nicholson, Asher Humphreys, and Saya Moran. We had like kind of the first time that we were coach free and just being like, let's just go ride in a weird way.
Yeah.
But we were there to compete as well. But it was really fun being on our own and just kind of exploring and having all those experiences and meeting like so many people that I've met through my contest career that still friends with me now. And whenever I go to these places, I hit them up and we get to like get together. It's really, that's what I really love about it is the community of it and the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still have that in this coached kind of situation anyways.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're just getting a little bit more. I mean, at 8 years old, you almost need a babysitter on the hill. Really?
Yeah, no, it's funny. I just was, when I was back in Ontario, Sam Marcotte came out to the Kingsnow premiere. And I was like, man, it was like, in a way, I'd spend like 6 months out of the year with him. And I was like, a lot of stuff I learned about life is from you, which is so cool and very grateful because he's such a good human. And he taught me a lot about everything. So I was like, it's really special. And it's special that my parents were willing just to send me away with this guy at such a young age. I think the first time I went to New Zealand was 12 years old.
Oh, man.
For like 8 weeks. And
wow.
And I just do it because Sam was from New Zealand. Yep. So we'd go there and live in Wanaka. And so lucky. So many crazy, crazy experiences that I look back on and just like so thankful that my parents were supportive and down.
Yeah. So was Sam the same coach in Ontario as he was in Wanaka? Like, he's not like reconnected with his old buddies.
Oh no,
buck or anything.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember like the one we had like their like Halloween party, and I was like, oh cool. I was like 13 or 12 years old.
That's so dope.
Yeah, no, it's sweet, man.
Yeah, a lot of exposure to like older kids. I can remember the vibe when kids started showing up at the hill. It doesn't feel like 20 years ago for sure, but. Yeah, of course. Like locally, there would be kids up grouse with their parents or whatever that are 10 years old that are ripping, It's like both sides of the scale. You see guys who are like in their 70s that are shredding, and kids, and you're like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah, everyone's sharing that same stoke. I love that too. Whenever I get on the chairlift with an, just like older dude or a girl that's still shredding, I'm like, that's what I want to be doing, like just live through the mountains for as long as you can until your knees stop working, and then you get a couple knee replacements and you keep doing it.
Yeah, we rode with Storm and Norman, the namesake for the lift down at Timberline.
Okay.
And he had to be, we just rode the lift with him. Mm-hmm. He was a lifty there in like the 30s or something. Like he was so old, and he was just like, there's something special about being a mountain enthusiast. I want to be like that. Yeah. I want to be sitting on a chairlift at 80 years old saying, oh, when I was here first, we were riding on, we didn't have any of these drone lifts or whatever it is.
Yeah, right? Well, who knows? Yeah, I just love that idea.
Yeah.
Keeping the shred going.
So how does the coach indoctrinate you with some like culture? Because obviously you got great style. That's not always easy to come by. Like,
yeah, he was really rad where he'd basically go to my parents and be like, hey, go to the snowboard shop. Fathom at the time was one in Collingwood, and he'd go buy all these snowboard videos and have Mikey watch them. Nice. So I had the little like tiny VHS, like that was like the portable TV that I had in my room. And I remember like White Balance was one of the first movies that I had. And so I would like just analyze that footage. If I wanted to learn a back seven, I remember just like watching people do it into powder and trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And Sam was really cool because he was so style orientated. He'd be like, hey, you're going to learn a trick, but make sure you grab. Yeah. It was like always about, he kind of instilled this thing is like, how did it feel? He'd ask us every time after we did a trick, he'd go, how did it feel? Not like, oh, like that was crazy. He's like, because then you started to really recognize the feeling of a good style trick or like a good moment or a good turn. Cause you start to, I love that. Yeah.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Cause I can think of like, they're always on the top of my mind, these epic moments in snowboarding for me where it just clicked. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be something major.
No.
But it's like, that felt super good.
It could be an ollie off a side head and being like, whoa, the way my board kind of tracked off. And like it just, those little minor like moments.
Totally.
But then you can take that into hitting a massive park jump or like whatever it is. Like, it's all relative.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's super sick. Mm-hmm. So what are the first contests you're doing? Half-pipe contests?
I was doing half-pipe contests, and then we do slopestyle and like little big air contests. And it was kind of fun because at that time we were doing it all.
Yeah. So that was what doing it all was for you guys. You didn't have to race.
No, I would do border cross here and then. Yeah.
How fun was border cross?
It was fun until I got my worst concussion. I remember
oh, no.
Yeah, I got clipped in the air because I was a small dude.
Yep.
Got clipped by someone on like the last jump and just scorped into the landing so aggressively. Oof. And I'm like, oh, I'd rather not have people on the course now.
Yeah, it's kind of gnarly, isn't it?
Dude, it's extremely gnarly. And they're going so fast and hitting like 60-foot jumps. And yeah, if you get knocked in the air, there's nothing you can do. You're just at the mercy of whichever way you're falling. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember competing in the Kokanee Cross. Mm-hmm. And I think we did it 2 years in a row. The first year we went amateur. And then I was like, fuck it, let's just go pro. Like, it looks easier because they're not like grabbing each other. They're not like...
It felt more civilized, maybe?
Way more civilized. Yeah. Like, people were worried about themselves, not you. Mm-hmm. Whereas in amateur, people might like just grab your jacket in the gate and just hang on to you and like slingshot off of you and make sure that you bail. Yeah. Or like jump on you. If you bail, they would like jump on you and try and hurt you. It was... There was a bit of gnarliness to border cross, especially in the beginning, that I was like, oh, this is not the competitive spirit. This is like evil. Half pipe and slope style right out of the gate. Was that the deal? Or was
that was the deal? Yeah. So I started focusing more on half pipe actually, probably from the age of like 13 to 16. I was still riding slope style, but more like I got on the development team for half pipe, I think when I was 15 or something like that. Yeah. So I was like on track to like do that. And then I remember it was like one moment where I was like hiking the half pipe and I had some friends, Tyler and Darcy were on the slopestyle national team. and they're like getting sled laps on this park jump while I was hiking the pipe, and I'm going, oh man, I really want to do that. And I was too, like I was kind of chasing the Olympics, being like, okay, if I just get 30th in this contest, I can maybe make the team. And then I just felt like it wasn't very fulfilling. I was like, I want to do something that I really wanted, had passion in. And then when I switched over, it is actually when everything kind of changed for my career, where I started actually doing better in slopestyle. And then I got some sponsors, and it was kind of funny because it was like the turning point where I had to like still ride halfpipe. Fuck, love it. Like doing a frontside air in the halfpipe was like the best feeling ever. Yeah. But I just knew that it wasn't going to be my thing,
Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool. So you align yourself with like what your passion is. Yeah. And instantly you're getting better results. Mm-hmm. And does your coach notice this too? Is it the kind of
Yeah. So I guess the one like real moment would have been I got invited to the Youth Olympics. It's like this junior Olympics. It would have been like 17 to 15, I think, was like the age group. It was like the pre-Olympic type thing. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool. Like Ben Ferguson ended up winning the halfpipe back in the day. And then I was there just actually supposed to be for the halfpipe. And I remember I got fourth. And they're like, oh, since you're here, if you want to ride the slopestyle, like we have an extra spot. So I stayed, and then my parents actually changed their flight, and then I ended up winning the slopestyle, fully fluke. Like had no intentions of doing that at all.
Hadn't put together a run for it.
No, and I think that was the first time I ever landed a 1080 in a contest. I can't remember if there was like, I think I'd done one just before, but first time ever landed in a contest. And then that kind of was like, whoa, maybe I should just ride slopestyle.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you win the whole thing?
Yeah, it was really special. And it's cool because I think Ben got third too in the slopestyle. So it's awesome because we've we've always ridden together. And from that moment, we were 15, he was 16. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, that sounds so fun. Mm-hmm. So like for you, was snowboarding more fun when you're winning the contest versus like shooting for 30th and trying to...
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it was the result base. It was just more of like, I was just like more stoked on slopestyle in a way. Yeah, like I just felt like I could represent my riding a bit better. And I was so, honestly, halfpipe is so much respect to all those dudes. Doing a double cork, I've still never done it in a halfpipe because it's so gnarly. And now people are doing triple corks. And it's like the margin for error in the halfpipe is, you got to be really on it just from decking out and landing flat. So much respect. Like, I think that was another reason why I was like, maybe I'm not going to step to these tricks. And I felt more confident on a jump,
Sick. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. How big was the halfpipe when, like, did it grow from like 18 to 22 during your...
It was always pretty much 22.
Holy shit.
But 18 in Ontario and stuff like that. Like 18, Mount St. Louis had an 18 foot. And they had a 12 foot, which was sick.
I think 12's my favorite. Yeah. I'm pushing for 12.
Me too. We need to get 12 foot half pipes back. And I think I remember even like in Ontario days I would like love when it would rain because I was like, oh, today's going to be slushy.
Slushy 12 foot pipe is like the best thing ever. Yeah. It really is. The thing about it, so I want the Woodward's company to make a 12 foot half pipe, but then also run a 12 foot half pipe series where you could invite guys like Terrier to compete in an open against guys like McMorris.
It levels the playing field a lot
little bit
because you're not going to do 1080s in a 12. I mean, I bet someone could because but I mean
Todd Richards.
Yeah, but I think it would level it whereas everybody could be kind of more at a like an even. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
It's inspired by the Vans high standard jam where they're just like, don't spin over X. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it would max out the style and also you could ride the same pipe as people now. Like I tried riding a 22 and it's not good.
Yeah, it takes some warming up too, for sure.
And it's dangerous. I mean, like you say, decking on a 22, I mean, not my favorite thing for sure, but landing flat.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But it's crazy when you would like, if you ride like the US Open Vail half pipe or the Dew Tour one was always really good. And I'd like just go do laps in it in between, like if I had some moment between slopestyle practice. Yeah. And those pipes are crazy because if you just let your line just keep riding, you end up going bigger and bigger, and it's so scary because you're like, don't speed check, because you want to, because you can feel yourself getting more speed, but they're so well built that they're like, if you just stand there, which is it's a scary thing to do, just stand and not move.
Yeah. I got coached in 1990 in a hand dug 8-foot ditch probably, and it was that was like the best pipe in the world at the time. Mount Hood in the summer, they've got diggers up there digging it every day, and it was like highways to tombstones to crappy landings. It just a perfect 12-foot. I think would just be. I think it would be so much fun for so many people.
Oh, even if it's like a couple hits, even if like, because I know it's expensive for resorts to build them, but even if it's like a two hit 12-foot pipe or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I think it like.
Yeah, I'm thinking 4-hit, like a 4-hit or something, like something where, you could have Terry come in and he might take the whole thing.
Yeah, he'd do it beautiful.
But you could revisit these old rivalries too. You could bring Todd Richards out to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you could bring the Olympic guys from the '98 Olympics against the 2006 Olympic guys. You know?
I like where your head's at. That's cool.
I just think it's more fun. Like for me, snowboarding's always been about fun. The contest thing is boring and cold and waiting around. I think if I grew up, actually winning, I think it would be a completely different deal. I see the camaraderie at the LBS, like the Baker Bank Slalom, like seeing friends from all around the world that you haven't seen
come together, and we would still, like, even though we'd be doing X Games or Dew Tour or whatever events, even though it was such a high level event, we're still all there and friends, and like that's what I really enjoyed about it. And then you could still, say you didn't do well, maybe you didn't make finals, or you did and you didn't land your run, but someone else did, and you go out and celebrate that person.
Totally.
Which was really rad, and everyone was really good for that in that industry, where they just be like, celebrate everybody,
Yeah, that's where the Olympics just didn't get it right. It's like, it's not their fault, but it's not a nationalistic sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a sport of love and happiness, and I feel like that can kind of get lost. But I mean, it's still like it. I mean, I think giving the opportunity to people to ride all over the world and showcasing it is important too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned Shaun White. I don't really know what happened with him in Burton. Like, I don't think it happened in the public. It seemed like he left. Jake died, and then he kind of. It's not like he came back onto Burton, but he's never said like, I hate Burton or anything like that.
No,
like
never,
you see him in the documentary, and he's obviously still a very pro Burton person.
100%, yeah.
But did you ever go to competitions with him? Was he ever a part of the group of the competing Burton guys?
No, because he would have, like, when he was in that era, I would have been like 10 years old.
Oh, that's right.
But I remember being like at Aaron Style when he had purchased it, and like getting to see him around, and he's just like, he seemed like more of a, like, I don't know him personally all, but more of like a superstar, not so much as a snowboarder. But he's still like, I thought it was cool that he bought Aaron Style, and he was trying for a long time, like he was pushing for it, and then ultimately he was dumping so much of his own money into it that it wasn't eventually going to like prosper that he thought it would have. But you got to give it to him for that too.
When the Shaun White movie came out, I was like, this kid is unbelievable. How good he is.
Oh, this is one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Yeah, of course. Because he just could do everything.
Yeah, those massive like box gaps.
That was
at
so
Snow Park.
crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts, man.
Yeah. He was on a whole other level.
Yeah.
But then when you see someone like McMorris, who's on that level now, who's buddies with the team, it seems like. Like he doesn't need a room to himself. He's not. I mean, I'm guessing.
No. He is snowboarding to the core, and it's cool because he's done incredibly well in the mainstream of it too. But he's still like, we come to Whistler and we'll ride side hits, or like he's like Mount Hood. We're riding the little jump and having a great time. It's not like, it's still the love for him, which is really cool because I feel like that can't happen when you're that big. It can kind of change, but I really don't think it has for him.
Yeah, that's great.
And we get to like, it's cool being around him. It's awesome.
Well, he's from out east, kind of. we call everything
I know, like Ontario, East Coast,
yeah,
but we're more like middle,
central. Yeah, totally. But like, so would you see him in the contest series days, or is he he's a little older than you, right?
He's 4 years older than me, so I would see him when we'd go to like U.S. Opens and stuff like that. And then he actually is the one that helped me really get on Burton when I would have been 15. My coach Sam kind of set up this day where he came out and rode with us. We were in New Zealand, and he kind of just like more of like a, just shred with your hero kind of day. And
totally.
Then at the end of it, he's like, "Hey man, like I want to help you out. You should get in touch with my agent." And then he actually helped me get on Burton, which is like crazy because at this time he was just starting his career too. Like he would have been 19, and like after I think he did double gold at the X Games, and I was just so shocked to even be riding with him.
Wow!
And it was so cool that he kind of helped me, took me under his wing a bit, and was like, "Hey, I back you," and helped me.
So sick.
Yeah. So that was
who were you riding for before Burton?
I was riding for. I was just like flow, like for O'Neill and like Gnu.
Yeah. But
yeah, no, it was so rad. And I remember being like, 15 and getting that call and being like, "Hey, we got you, like, you're on Burton now." I was like, this is crazy. Like,
wow.
Cause I was on Burton when I was a kid at 8 years old to like 12 or 13, like on a rep level.
Yeah.
And I always was like, oh man, that would be like the dream. And now it's been like 10 years, which is, so grateful that it all
that's
worked
incredible.
out. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. As a competitive snowboarder, getting on Burton is kind of everything, right? Like that's a pretty exclusive team.
That, and too, their gear is just so good, and they're awesome about like, they'd have our boards sent out to like this guy named Ryan McDermott, and he would tune all the boards. So they'd be like so dialed even before we'd get them, which was so sick. Like that kind of stuff.
So I'm always curious about like Ryan McDermott and guys like that. Like how much input do you get into how sharp your edges are, or where they're sharp, or like, can you go all the way and just tell them everything that you want? And
he's got so much knowledge where he knows everybody likes different things. Like I'd always want my edges a little bit dulled a bit once they came out of the box, but then someone like Mark actually likes a bit sharper. Yeah. And then you put the base bevel on our board so that we can have that clean edge and still slide rails. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's like, wow. I know he'd like hotbox the boards for like 3-4 days. Yes. And just like wax them it's so cool. He's like he's a really, really cool human.
So a brand new board out of a box is just what? Like super fast, dialed in. Like you don't have to do anything to it but put your bindings on. Yeah. They and you're good to go.
Really dialed, yeah.
Yeah, did you work with JG at all for your boards?
Yep. Yeah. So we'd had a couple boards where I'd like wanted a certain like length, and they didn't make it. They had like, I think I was like riding a 54, but they made a 55 in that custom twin that I was riding. And he made. So it's cool having those boards. Even I have one at my house, just being like, because it's cool every time you see it says JG and then the number, and that's the board he made. So
wow, yeah. I went and visited him when we were in Vermont, and I mean, that guy's got the history. He was, he told me Shaun White's boards didn't change for the last, I don't know, 10 years or something.
Yeah. And it's crazy with his boards. He doesn't have any, like his radius is almost like straight. Like there's no, like Sean's boards just go straight.
Because he's riding perfect pipe.
Yeah. But if you were to like try to ride that board on the resort, you wouldn't be able to like rail turns because it's just like the turn radius on
it's
it
like
would
11 meters or something.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Scott had a board with like an 11 meter side cut radius, and it just didn't. Yeah,
it just went straight.
It doesn't do anything when you put it on edge. Yeah, you're fish turning everywhere is what's happening.
But then once you put it on line, you can just you know that you're not going to cut up the pipe or cut down. You can just like.
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, I've heard from competitors all sorts of like superstitions, right? Like you have lucky boards. I want something on this board, and you keep it for special occasions, or I guess mostly it would be just the board that you're riding at the time.
Yeah, because I was funny where I just wanted to keep riding the same board, even though it was maybe like I'll be like doing a year on it, and because I get very attached to a board if I have a good moment on it or whatever it is, and. I would always write Johnny C because my dad passed away when I was 18, and that was his name. So I have his name on my board, and that's just kind of I think that's my little superstition, I guess. Always,
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of have him there in a way.
That's a huge, heavy thing to deal with at 18 years old.
Yeah. It was, it definitely taught me how to grow up quickly, which, in a way sucks, but I mean, I'm grateful that he did so much for me, and he was kind of my biggest fan. He'd always watch this video that I had on YouTube, and he'd be like watching it every time before bed. And no, it's as sad as it is, it is the way of life, and just grateful that I got to know him.
Yeah, no doubt. So he was very involved in your life, right? Like, so he would be driving you to some of these contests and getting you new gear when your stuff. Did he know how good you were at it?
Yeah, he loved it, man. Like I always I think he sometimes definitely was he just wanted me to do good all the time. And I love that about him. I remember one contest we were at, it was Whistler, it was a shred show. And I landed a good run, did well, and I don't think I got the score that I wanted. And then he's trying to go into the judge's booth, and I was like, man. And for me, I'm very chill. I would never do anything like that. And I was like, Dad, come on. But he grew up playing hockey, and I always was like, he's a hockey dad.
Yeah, that's so sick.
But I mean, his passion was so real. So I mean, can't deny it's awesome.
Oh man, yeah. So at 15 years old, you win the World Junior Olympics. He couldn't have been prouder. Obviously, your whole family would have been freaking out.
He was like a big Italian dude, and he was crying and stuff. It was awesome.
Wow, that's so dope,
so
dude.
Special, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So then even just now, and there's so many moments where even with my mom and my family, where my brother and sister are doing well in their lives too. So it's always moments where I feel like when there's something special that happens, you look back and go, oh man, wish John was here, my dad, to share it with us. But I mean, in a way, I remember I moved out to Whistler right after he passed away. So that was the first year I lived here. Yeah. And I think I just kind of used snowboarding to get through it. It was more of my escape. I just knew snowboarding makes me so happy. And I was obviously super sad, but anytime I'd get on my board, I was just so stoked. And so in a way, snowboarding got me through it.
Yeah. Wow. And then what did you win? You won something.
I won a World Cup when I was 18. And the funny one was about that is the year before my dad was there, and I got last place. And I was so bummed.
Are you serious? How do you get last place in one of these World Cup events?
I think I remember I didn't have speed for the first jump. I fell first. I think I got a 12. A 12 out of 100 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Man. Yeah, and then the next season, same contest in Stoneham, I ended up winning, and that was really super special, emotional as well. Just
big time,
full circle, being like, wow, I can't believe that he's not here, and I'm doing this now. And then that kind of helped me get into then I got into do tour the next season. Yeah, and then I got invited to X Games, and that was kind of. I always watching that, like I said, from a young age, watching that contest was such a big goal of mine to get to. And, I was just kind of that contest too, the scale of it is so crazy.
What's it like to be invited to it? Are you jumping up and down and freaking out?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's the whole family stoked, telling everyone it's
calling everybody, I'm going to the X Games.
Yeah. Cause for me, I was watching it on, ESPN. It'd be that week was this is it. Nice. So just even getting to be there was so incredible.
And then they fly you there? Is it kind of a package thing, or does it fall on your sponsors?
No, it's all on your own budget. Yeah. But it's just cool seeing it all. That you got the skiers, and then the motocross, the snowmobiler dudes, and you're just this is crazy.
Well, I'm just thinking logistically, what's it like? You fly into Vail? It's at Vail? Aspen. And then you got to find accommodations.
Yeah, luckily Burton was always
rad. Of course.
They'd have a team house, and we'd all stay together, which was fun.
So that's even better. Yeah. Than staying on your own and being all nerve-wracked out or whatever.
Yeah, no, it was. Yes, it was always a good time. You could, even if you didn't do well, you knew that there's a a good group of people that cheer you up if you're sad.
And what are the days like? Are they long days? Like you get up?
No, like 3-4 hour practices.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like we only would do like now, like same with the guys. They do. You get 3 days of practice, and then you're straight into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's at that point, does it ratchet up like the nerves and being gripped?
Yeah. I think like now that I'm not competing, looking back on it, I was always so nervous. Like, but in the start gate, I would always be like, like high-fiving, like cheers and smiling, but inside I was always pretty nervous because it is, you're trying your hardest tricks and in front of a big stage. Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you think about all the people at home that are watching. Yeah. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, then you just got to think of I always go back to being, like practice gratitude, just stoked to be there and, happy that you get to do this.
Yeah. What are those last moments in the start gate like? Like, are you kind of looking around going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here?
For me, it was always like I'd visualize my run.
Yes.
Start to finish.
Yep.
Through the whole 30 seconds to go, I just try to like do my run as many times as I could.
Perfect.
And I'd always listen to this like one song. It's a Future Islands song, and that's the one that I got to use. It's not the same song, but I got to use Future Islands for my part in Kingsnow.
So sick.
So I was like, the fact I got that song is just a dream come true. But yeah, this one song called Balance, I'd listen to it every time.
Yeah.
I'd drop in.
So it puts you into that headspace where you're running on flow, right? Like,
totally. Yeah. You're trying to like lose sense of self and just kind of let your body do it. And that's even, I feel like when you get those moments now, when I get them in the backcountry, they're even more rad because you're in this amazing environment in this special place and like with amazing people. And then once it clicks, you're like, wow.
Do you throw the song on if you're doing a big?
I have before where just like if I'm like on my own, I'll just put it up to my ear because we don't wear headphones when we're back there. But I was just like, just to get that feeling again.
Yeah, put you in that head.
Like it's funny when I'm driving in my car or like just play it on like a speaker, I get like goosebumps because every time I ever did well in a contest, that song was in my ear, which is so weird.
Yeah, no, that's not weird. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a part of conditioning, right? Like it's almost like self hypnosis or something.
Exactly.
I did it when I did the Mount Baker Bank Slalom. So I picked it. Freebird. Nice. It is a long song.
Yeah.
But there's a point where the guitars just go crazy, and I'm like, I feel fast when that happens.
Would you try to time it to like so that it would like?
Oh God!
Play that part
you know
of the
what?
song?
That was the thing was that I had to practice so that it would be at that part of the song
when you're going your
because
fastest.
I think I did like one of my runs and it was like at the wrong part of the song, and then I'm fiddling with my headphones trying to like, how do I fast forward to get to the no? And you're like,
and then you've now lost it. Yeah.
But it's hard to do because when you're getting into the start gate, especially at Baker, like you don't know how. It's not uniform. You know what I mean? You don't know when the last 3 seconds is going to be.
But I had moments like that too, where it'd be like, oh shit, we're going to commercial. Like, sorry, you're going to have to wait another 2 minutes. And I was like, oh man. So now I'm like, do I play the song or no? I can't play it because it's only 3 minutes. What if it goes off?
Yeah, exactly.
But I never would hear it while I was like riding, but it was just the moment.
It's in the background, isn't it?
And I don't always put it one ear. It was never too loud. It was just more for me to get into that. But like, it's cool. Someone like Mark, I know he just listens to like whatever he's vibing with like that day in like that week or whatever. He's like, he's not like, not very.
Yeah. It's not like a superstition or whatever.
Yeah.
Cause these rituals do border on superstitious sometimes. Right?
I think mine was for sure.
Yeah.
This is my song and I can't not listen to it.
I just get fired up at that one part of that song, man. So I thought, okay, I can ride fast. So yeah, I would ride fast. And then when that part would come on, I would ride faster. That was my idea. Oh man, that's epic.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's good to reminisce. It's so many good moments, memories, and doing that. Yeah.
So the Stoneham World Cup. Stoneham World Cup. Do you? You followed that up with something at the U.S. Open, didn't you?
No. So then the next season, or what? Well, yeah, I think 2 years later, then I got second at the U.S. Open. But from that moment was when I started like getting invited to more contests.
Got it.
Yeah, because more like it's hard to break into that like doing World Cups, if you have enough points within the Canadian scene, you can get spots to the team. But we always found it challenging, like once you get invited to do tour and you're on that scale and you're getting recognized as like a good rider, it was cool.
How do they figure that out?
A lot of it would back then, and I still now, is there's just like World Snowboard points list.
Okay.
And it's like a points list. You get points for each contest you do, and it's like I think it's an average of your 3 best results.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like, you have a ranking, a worldwide ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How high up the ranking have you ever gone? Do you know?
Oh, I think the best I had was like 13th or 12th or something like that. Yeah.
Like, who's at the top of that ranking? Who's number 1 on that ranking?
Like, I think Red is at the top right now. Marcus Cleveland.
Wow.
Mark's always been in like the top 5.
Yeah.
He's obviously been in the lead for a long time too.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember. I haven't looked at it in a while, but
you cracked the top 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, that's sick. Congrats on that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Like, see, I don't know about these things. Like, I don't know about the contest scene, but I get excited about it. When you talk about it, I'm like, this is something that's really a huge part of the snowboard world.
Yeah, and I think, too, for the people that are doing it, it's like it is so much. You dedicate a lot of your life to it. And
totally.
Injuries come with along, but like that's just like, it's all part of the love. For me, that same, like I always say this is snowboarding was, or me competing was always a vehicle that allowed me to snowboard more.
Rad.
And then I was like, okay, if I just want to keep doing it because then I can get paid to snowboard. Like I never make good money, but I make enough money to snowboard.
Right.
Which is like all I want to do.
Right.
So I'm like, like that I get to do that is just like such a dream come true.
Yeah. And that it was an option from when you were such a young kid. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Mm-hmm. And you did, I mean, the thing is, it's an option for a lot of people, but most people don't have, I'm going to guess you have like a pretty tenacious personality. Like you thrive on getting better and effort in a focused direction.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like I feel like I have that a bit in like skateboarding too, where I just love to like learn new tricks, and that's what always drew me to that kind of individual sport where it's just you and how much you're willing to like put towards your craft, which I really think is cool. And snowboarding too, like I'll be getting better for as long as I do it. And there's always, maybe not like in the fact of like doing a bigger trick, but maybe analyzing snow conditions or looking at a line differently, or like there's always something to like progress on. And even when you go up the hill and I'm like, maybe it was foggy or wasn't that awesome, but like, oh, I actually had that side hit switch and I kind of like felt good about it. Yeah. And like that kind of like those little micro moments, I said it before, but I mean, that's where I kind of thrive off.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
So how do you transition from competitive to competitions to the backcountry?
So I first bought a sled in 2017 after US Open because I won some money. So I was like, I was like, Mom, I'm buying a sled. Something I've always wanted to do, like watching like Rants and Solars and all the dudes in the movies that I grew up watching were like, that's like something I always wanted to do. And I knew that I was like, I need to get a sled. I need to learn how to do it because it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
I think it took me like at least 2 years until I felt somewhat confident, because I remember the first year I got hurt and I think I used my sled like 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh no. But it was more of just building for that moment when I was able to go film in the backcountry.
Yeah.
And I think the first real trip I did was after the US Open. The last one, actually, I went to Blue River and was allowed to go like rip with Mikey, Mark, and Mikko were there.
Wow.
And I remember
what a crew.
Because I didn't make finals, and I was super sad because I was like, felt like I was riding good, and I was supposed to maybe go to more events in Europe. And I was like, oh man, I really don't want to do that. And talking to my TM, I was like, can I go to Blue River? Like I have a truck, I have a sled. Can I do this? And he's like, yeah, go do it. So I changed my flight, left US Open early, like right after qualifiers, and then got home to Whistler, drove to Blue River to meet up with those guys. And I was so in over my head. Like the sledding there is pretty technical.
Sure.
And prior to that, I had been like, I'll go up Brandywine and like just basically up on like the glaciers, a pretty flat, open terrain. Yeah. A couple of hill climbs, nothing there. But I remember going there and being like, oh God. But they're so rad. They helped me so much, and I learned so much from them.
They all seem like really nice people.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that
professional.
Yeah, they have it all so dialed, and yeah, it's just whenever I'm out with them, I'm just open ears trying to like take in as much information.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, such legends.
So you're just riding with them. Oh,
so that was for One World.
One World.
Yeah,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I came back to Whistler, and then Brock and Red were in town, and they had just come back from competing. They're like, "Oh, do you want to come out with us?" And then we got a day where we went and hit Hollywood and Perfect Jump. And then that was kind of my sales point for myself going into the next season, because I got 2 shots in the Burton movie, and that was on one day. And I was like going to my mom and, you know, and being like, if I just get 10 of those days, I could get a full part.
Yeah.
That was my mentality. Yeah.
Like you actually know the work it's going to take.
Yeah. And I was like, if I can just get 10 days. And then that was when Kingsnow asked me to be a part of their movie. And that was the start of last season. Right. And I kind of was on the fence about if I wanted to keep competing or what I wanted to do. And it was really rad because like Rockstar and Burton were like, yo, whatever you want to do, go for it. And I was like, this is something I've always dreamed of. And I knew that I couldn't pass up on that opportunity.
That's rad.
Yeah. Burton was rad, where they're like, yeah, this is like, if that's the direction you want to go. And I always knew that was something I wanted to do. And it was more, I was like priming for it in a way.
Right.
Because I knew that competing was, I would put a lot of stress on myself. And even after I made that decision of like leaving the contest world in a way, I like my friends around me were like, man, you seem way more relaxed.
Oh, cool.
Which I thought was cool, because I did feel way more relaxed. And it's a heavy environment to be a part of, even though it's like when you're killing it and when you're getting to do this stuff, it's amazing, but it is like challenging.
Like the challenges are, it's like, oh my God, it is a Bluebird day. Okay, where are we going to go? What are we going to do?
Then you start getting those juices flowing. That's what realizing that with backcountry is the process of it is so much more important than just like that one moment. You got to like, it's like the whole day kind of comes together for each shot, which I think is kind of cool.
Right. And you've got to be there for other people too, right? Like there is a, I don't want to say it's a pecking order, but there's like a roster, like people, you need to be keeping track of who's been doubled up and who got first hit on what, you know, and who's stacked stuff for their part and can like
it's a full team.
Yeah.
Effort. Yeah. Which I like about it. 'Cause you're like, even though you're trying to film your own stuff, but everyone wants you to get a shot, and you want your buddy to get a shot, and you want the filmers to also be like, that was amazing. So it's all a joint effort, which I really enjoyed. And even learning something from Mikey was like, he always appreciates everything about it. Like I was saying, is like the whole day, even the sled up, the hang after, the shitty like stuck that you got, or like whatever. It's nice to like, then you go after your day and you just have a positive outlook, even though it was like you maybe had stressful moments in it. But
yeah,
I like that.
I need to do that, because I just end on whatever note is the end, which is it's way too late. I'm hurt. I got stuck. It's dark.
Yeah.
I'm soaked. I'm starting to get freezing. Like, so then I'll get in the car and go, why the hell do I do this? Even though
you had insane turns.
The best runs of the year that day, they're just kind of ruined by my attitude on the way back. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to practice this year. I remember having to do that like 98, 99, it snowed like it's never snowed in my life. I started realizing that I was like 4 runs ahead in my head, right?
Oh, because
like,
you're already thinking about the next run.
I'd be at the car thinking about, first run will be this, then that. Yeah. And then if it's not 2 tracked, I'll go there. Or if it's, if
crazy.
this, then that.
You would skip ahead and be like,
so
wait,
far ahead.
What about now?
Yeah, I had to, I think I read a book or something that reminded me like, hey, you need to live the moment, right?
That's
not like
cool,
the future.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd lie down in the chairlifts and I'd feel the snow on my face and I wouldn't think about where I was going. At the top of the run, I would like, okay, let's be present here.
And then your body would just take you there.
Yeah. It was way better. There's nothing worse than having a great day and getting back to the car and being like, I was stressed out that whole time. Oh, are they going to go there? Like, is someone going to crack this before I get there? Like, that's not the way to be.
No, because then you're just going to get ahead of yourself and be like, if that doesn't line up to your perfect day, then you're going to be like, no.
Then you're bummed. Yeah.
Another one, Mark and Mikey would always say, like, I'd ask for advice and they'd be like, if you're at a spot and you're trying to force a trick, a lot of the time you go to a spot and they're so good for it where they just kind of like let the trick kind of flow with the way the feature's set up.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you've done a front 3 or if you've done a back 1 already this season and the feature you're riding right now is lining up for that, do another one because it might well be better than the one you did before. But sometimes you're like, you get stuck to maybe you like have a shot list or like trick list and you're trying to force a trick on a jump that maybe doesn't line up. I thought that was really rad because then you end up getting way more quality shots where you're like, this is just everything about it is working, you know?
That's what's happened in snowboarding from the limited amount that I see at videos and contests is that, I mean, in contests, it's still the knife edge of progression.
Oh, you got to be on the upper level of progression for sure.
But people can really appreciate a really beautiful trick that's not the biggest or best that's ever been done on a feature, right? Like,
but it just the way everything comes, the way the snow quality is, the way that like you roll into it, it just like aesthetically is very pleasing.
Absolutely.
And I love that. I remember when this year I watched Mikey do this backside 180 and he just like took off and he didn't move a muscle. He just like caught this perfect tranny, and me and Mark are building another feature kind of like adjacent, like on the other side. And I was like, man, that was so cool. Like just the way, like just no movement.
Yeah.
And just like perfect poke. I was like, that's so cool.
Ah, that's epic. So did you have a trick list?
I would have tricks once I did one. I'd write it down that I knew that what I had.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are a couple where I would had a couple of repeats, but then it ended up being like I replaced it. But I think it was just good to have an idea where you're at.
Yeah, of course. That's your job now, right? Like, how cool is that that's your job?
So goddamn lucky. It's crazy.
And so you come out swinging. Your first shots in the backcountry are in one world.
Yep.
And then the Kingsnow part, you win part of the year, backcountry part of the year.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's so dope, dude. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really, really shocked by that. That was cool.
Yeah. It was cool watching you at the premiere. Like, I could see you were getting emotional.
I fully was tearing up and, sitting there with, Bo, Matt, and Mikey.
I've got it recorded on my phone. People are freaking out.
I was just like, it's crazy,
Your name comes on the screen and just everybody just lights up. The whole bar, man, was just...
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because it's just, watching all, from a young age, watching snowboard movies and getting to be a part of it now is I think, the really special moment for me. Yeah. I think even more than, I never really got emotional, maybe a couple times at contests, but I felt like I've been more emotional every time my part comes on. And now just thinking about the future that I get to, be with these amazing riders that I've looked up to from such a young age. I'm like, man, I'm just counting my blessings. I feel like that's a good, good way to live,
Yeah. You seem really well adjusted,
Oh, thank you.
It seems like your generation's got it together, and you guys have done the heavy lifting for snowboarding too, right? Because the backcountry stuff wouldn't even get any money if it wasn't for, contests and mainstream stuff.
I don't know. I feel like if you think in the 2000s and stuff when it was the forefront, or the 90s too, the stuff that the guys did in the Whistler backcountry to open it all up. I know the contests definitely bring money in, but I think it still would hold relevance.
I just think eyes are on the contest stuff, right? And then the backcountry stuff is for us. It's for this small group of people that really give a shit about a back one, right? I'm trying to think. Danny Davis did what? An air to fakie at the last Olympics. Yeah. That was just you could tell that was badass.
Well, and whenever he posts a beautiful lean air or backside tail grab, it's just the way he does it. You just know that's how it's supposed to be done. Right. Which I don't think we'll ever lose that in snowboarding. I hope not. I don't think we will, because those are the first tricks you learn. The indie or the tail grab, the method, and you can always, even if you get to the level of what kids are doing 1800s now and 1980s, I think you'll always appreciate those tricks.
Yeah, I think so too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember watching freestyle skiing and being like, what they're doing is technically insane, but the way they're doing it and the way they look, it's just so not arms out to the side and when people are doing
the 18s and the 19s, they're still like, they're grabbing the whole way through their spin. And like a lot of time they're like poking because it helps them like get there into that access. And you're like, wow, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nutty.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's super nutty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's the future for you? Where are you thinking from here? More backcountry, more.
Yeah. More snowboarding is the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be filming with Mikey and Mark again in the Whistler Backcountry in BC base. So we'll be kind of just chasing wherever the snow's good. And yeah, just trying to progress. I still have I've only been doing it for like realistically 2 years of actually filming. And so I have so much to learn and just excited for that.
Yeah, you guys, so I don't know about Sean. I did interview Miskiman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
And then he told me the story of the avalanche, and I was like, oh, now I have to think, Ciccarelli told me at first.
Yeah.
Should probably have you say it.
Oh man, so that was a gnarly experience because that would have been, I think it was like December 28th, and that was pretty much right when I decided to go full backcountry, and I was like not going to compete, and this was my new path.
Yeah.
And then it was me, Sean, and this guy named Sam, who we were just riding this little jump up rainbow, like would have been like 30 feet. We were just like having a good time, like not taking it seriously, iPhone clips. And then I look over and I see these giant blocks, like 100-centimeter chunks falling down the mountain. And I'm like, oh man, I really hope no one's in that.
Right.
And then my buddy heard one of the people from their group call search and rescue. So then we knew, oh shit. And we probably had like a 30-second moment. Maybe, we're so like in the moment of being like, okay, what do we do? And then we're like, let's go. We're helping. And then we get down there, have our beacons in search mode, get off. And they've already just got down to the bottom, and then we all kind of banded together, and it was crazy because like I ended up doing the pinpoint, like when you do your grid at the end, and the lowest number we got was 2 meters, 2.0. Oof. And then his friend probed him first go, and luckily the snow hadn't consolidated. Wow. It was still very fluffy, and we got to him so quick. Like I'd say in like a minute, his friend cleared his airways, and then he was unconscious, came to, we flipped him over onto his butt. And he just like lets out this crazy smile and just gets up and walks out of the hole. And we're like, he's
no
fine.
Way. No way.
Goes over to his backpack and puts on his like sunglasses. And it was like crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I remember and we had like a debrief after, and he said he was in a full dream state. He had no idea what had happened or what has happened.
Right.
But his like, I'll never forget it. That smile that he like, and then just like stood up and walked out. Wow. So, I was just, again, I was very happy that we had a positive outcome because me and Sean, we've done our like ASTs, and I've done the bald face course. I'm going back to do it again this end of November. And
Rad.
I was just stoked that our kind of like skills and our training, like we went into it and we knew what we were doing. Like it kind of like, it was nice to know that I did know what I was doing. So it felt a little bit more safety going into the season. But again, it was definitely scared me a bit.
How do you? What goes on for the rest of the day? Like, do you guys go back and
no? We went down. It was like 11 o'clock, and we like looked at each other like let's go. And even the first responders when they came, like the guys in the heli, like search and rescue came, they're like, hey, you probably should go home. Like this was a tragic or traumatic trauma. Like it was a heavy moment where all like hearts are racing, and I didn't even know this guy. We're like giving him a hug. We're all tearing up.
Of course.
And it was just cool that we were able to go and help, and it had a positive outcome because they had 3 people. We had 3 people. So then we had 6 people looking, and definitely made it quicker.
That's fast. Yeah.
So just, it was crazy though. I was
unfortunate.
Right at the start of deciding, and then that happening. But again, the outlook I had was, okay, I do have knowledge and I know what to do. And if shit hits the fan, so Now we actually, after that, I remember we all went home. I got my buddies. We did a bunch more beacon searches in like the soccer field in Cheakamus. And now I'm like, it makes me want to learn even more. Yeah. Because I've always been so fascinated with like guiding and all that kind of stuff where I'm like, I just want to be able to know as much as I can.
Yeah. It's really important stuff.
Yeah. I just think it's cool how like Robin's like a tail guide at Baldface and stuff like that. Yeah. And she's a pro snowboarder too. And I'm like, that's super rad.
Yeah, Sansalone's up there.
Salone too. Like he goes, oh, I'm going to Baldface for a week, and I'm just going to be a tail guide for like a bit, and he can lead guide too. But I was like, it's just so cool that you have that option to go do.
Absolutely,
yeah.
man.
And at a place like Baldface, you're like, dude.
Yeah, I was talking to Don Schwartz. He's the very first certified mountain guide snowboarder.
Cool. That's a cool career, I think.
It's a cool career, but it's definitely, you need to have that kind of, and for sure you have it, like a heart of gold, thinking about other people, safety minded, and the ability not to lose your ship when stuff goes down.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, it's definitely would be a stress-induced job, but I think maybe that Stokes outweigh that.
yeah, right, for sure. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about InReaches because I'm going to get one. Yeah, so I haven't got one yet, but
you should definitely, You
were saying the InReach Mini is the one.
Mm-hmm. It's super small. I was saying I probably charge it like maybe 3 or 4 times a winter. Holds its battery really well. Yeah, and you can send texts. Like you can have the Mini. You can actually have. You can link it to your phone. Yep. So like if I'm out of service, I can text my like mom or girlfriend.
Oh, so like you're in a Wi-Fi situation essentially.
You're basically using the InReach as your Wi-Fi, and you can text router, and stuff like that. And then too, if something, you can, call search and rescue, and then you can message your core person so that they can be like, hey, they're here. That these are their coordinates, and like this is how many people they're with, and this is the scenario.
Perfect.
Instead of just pressing the button, you're not. At least there's more knowledge for the search and rescues before they come.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem really. Mm-hmm. Is it a subscription service or something?
Yeah, so I just subscribe to it during the winter. I think it's like $18, so I do it for like 5 months.
Yeah, so worth it.
I think we might do a split board mission here, so I was like,
dope.
Get it going again, because it's just nice to have that a bit more peace of mind. Too, if you're coming back late after a long day and you're like someone's waiting for you,
100%.
Just do a quick message. All good. I'm safe, but we're just a bit stuck.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it home.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a fun thing about even now where I'm like I feel like the knowledge never ends. Where snowboarding competitively was always like about learning a new trick, trying to get a better trick that you put in your run, and now it's like. Obviously, I want to do good tricks in the backcountry, but I'm also like trying to learn way more, which is so much fun because I think that's a really important aspect. For me, it's like, just having that kind of stoke of learning and then like being like, oh, I can do this now.
How did you do in school? Like, were you did you do really well in school?
I did okay in school. Yeah. I was like on a roll throughout high school, man. But it's funny. I actually just, I graduated last year, high school. At 24.
That's so dope. Because
that was like
amazing.
My mom and my family, they like, for me, I was definitely like, oh, I don't need this, but it's cool with the national team as you get, every year you're on, they give you like $5,000 towards schooling.
Sick.
So I was on the team for like 6 years. So I could use that money to go do guiding or something like that.
Epic.
But you need your high school. So I was like, I don't want to like, pass up on that opportunity if at some point I want to do it. But it's just funny, like getting like my mom made a cake for me. It was like happy graduation. I was like, this is so embarrassing. 24, but it's good. No,
that's really cool, man.
Yeah, no, because my brother is extremely smart. My sister's really smart. Like they're really successful in their own regard too. So it's definitely like felt like I had to get it done.
I love that.
But it's a good story. I was like,
that's really good.
It would be really funny if I went to like the high school. It was like, hey, can I get in for the graduation?
Yeah, totally. With all these 17-year-old kids.
He's so funny.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for doing this again, dude. And it's always cool to see you.
Dude, no worries. It's so much fun. We'll get some days.
Yeah,
I saw you already up there at Seymour.
Yeah. You know what? Seymour, and then I hiked to the top of Cypress, and the snow was early and deep,
Nice.
It is good. I just drove up Brandywine. I didn't realize until they start grooming the trail up there, that's actually a paved road for a good amount. And then
so you went and drove up the road for as long as you could?
No, not even as long as I could. I got to the dirt road and I was like, it still wasn't like snow where you would dump a sled.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know where I would turn around further up, because it's going to switch back and it's going to start going
really. Truck. I always say that.
Yeah,
I don't like getting stuck in a sled. You're like, I can roll it.
Yeah,
getting stuck in a truck, I've had it happen where you're like, there's nothing You're digging out the bottom.
Yeah.
It's probably the most frustrating
Yeah.
thing
Nobody
ever.
knew I was up there either. I just went to see what it looked like at the end of the lot.
Good call.
And then I just kept going, and I was like, holy shit. Oh, and now I'm off forget it. I'm off the pavement. I'm turning back.
Smart call.
But obviously people were up there today. Like I saw people coming out with sleds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people have been sledding.
Yeah.
I think I'll wait probably mid-December, early December once it stacks up a bit.
Yeah, it seems like you're at risk for hitting rocks fast and breaking
destroying your sled. Yeah. And two, I think once the mountain opens, I'm like crossing my fingers for it to open up early, just because that is so much fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, they've got so much snow up there.
Yeah.
Like I've been up there on years where they open with how much we've got here.
Oh yeah, I remember, and it's all man-made. Like there's no fresh.
And you duck off to hit a little bit of, and you're like, wow, that's just riding rocks.
There's an inch of snow.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, and too, like I have a good snowboard community here in Whistler that we all have our group chats going. Like, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. trying to get first chair. It's so much fun.
For real, like real first chair, actual first chair.
Yeah, like because I moved to Creekside, so I live like right next to the Creekside Gondola.
Perfect.
And last season, because of COVID, you could kind of like everyone was playing by the same rules, which I always thought was cool. Where if you put your board down, I'd go home for like 2 hours and then, have breakfast, have a coffee.
That's so
and then
perfect.
I would go back at 7:30. And as long as you went back, not like at 8:15, right when the lifts are open, everyone was like fine with it. Cause you still waited. I still would wait there for an hour and a half.
Yep.
But I just had my board.
Yeah.
And then you get like lower insanity and like stuff like that.
That's so great.
But I don't know if that's going to be a thing this year. Cause it was like groups where you'd have to have a gondola. So you'd put your board down, and then I'd text my buddies. Some days it'd be like another, like Sean would be the tribute that would go there early.
Yeah.
And then we'd meet up with him at like 7:30, or meet up with me and be like, yeah, you're good. Let's fill a gondola.
Yeah.
But I did it like that.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I was super stoked to see Sean Farmer down in California. He's doing the same thing. Like people that care.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're getting those first chairs because the first tracks are the best tracks.
Oh man, and I love that energy of a POW day. Like there's it's kind of like there's a bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to your zone first, but it's fun because you're like screaming from the lift. Everyone's hooting and hollering. Like those are such fun moments.
Yeah, I sat in the peak chair lineup last year after it, because it doesn't open on the day of the storm. Mm-hmm. It might not open the day after. It could be really windy. Mm-hmm. And then you see people stacking up. And you could be waiting there 3 hours,
Oh, yeah. I've had days last season where we'd be like, is it going to open? And we'd wait in line and be like, no, it's not
we're going to bail.
I think I waited there.
Yeah.
One of the funny ones was with Emma, my girlfriend. I made her wait in line for like Harmony for like 2 hours and they didn't open.
Oh, no.
I was like, it's going to be the best run of your life. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, sorry. Like, Abby's dangerous too high. We're not going to open. I'm like, no, I understand. And I was like, we could have been riding everywhere else.
All the good stuff that we sacrificed.
But that's the thing of the POW days, like you're kind of saying, is you're already thinking about the next moment.
100%, dude. Yeah. So how long have you been with Emma? You guys have been together
3
a while?
years. 3 years.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And she snowboards.
She does, shreds. Yeah. She's starting to get the more like the itch of like riding powder and stuff. I had her on the 151. Like I have this mystery fish.
Yeah.
And it kind of
sick.
And she rides it in on POW days, and she's like, this is the sickest thing ever. So
yeah. The equipment is so much better for riding POW now. It's epic.
Oh man. Like I always say that even if you're like don't have a POW board, set your stance back, and it makes such a difference.
Oh,
saves your legs and
saves your legs completely. That's awesome. All right.
Well, this was awesome, dude. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming back, and I'm sure we'll talk again, dude.
Yeah, that was great. See ya.
FNRad shoutouts this week to Mikey Ciccarelli. Thanks for doing the show, man. Thanks to Murray Fraser for letting us record at the chalet. And extra special thanks this week to Cam at Nutby Snowboards for taking me out snowboarding at Mount Seymour. Oh yeah, thanks Rob Dow and Josh Sheelan for working so hard on the social media crap and the YouTube channel. Be sure to come back next week for another episode of the FNRad Snowboard Podcast, presented by Vans and brought to you by SIA Productions.